Welcome back to the HB2 Mid Game Podcast. My name is Matty Thompson. Of course, I'm with Coach John Crawley. We have a great show for you today. We're going to recap our season finale against Richmond. Then we're going to discuss the upcoming A10 tournament, which is hosted by Richmond. And then we have Crazy Eight, Aiden McCullough, joining us on the show. He'll probably be a good talk. I don't know how much of lacrosse we're going to talk about, but he'll be fun to listen to. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So we lost 19-10 to number 5 Richmond. Finished the regular season out. Now we finished 6-7 overall, 5-1 in A10 conference play. A couple standout performances that we can discuss. Luca, he went 18 for 29 on faceoffs, 10 ground balls, and those 10 ground balls made him the all-time program leader in career ground balls with 363. So correct, Giuseppe. Luke Fenderson had 2 goals. He's kind of just been... I love his game so far as a freshman. Owen Cooper was his first goal of the season. Bryce Richards, he had his first goal. He was great off the wings. So kind of just... What's your assessment kind of about the Richmond game and heading into the A10?
Yeah, I think we knew what we were going to get with Richmond. They've been excellent all year. And I felt like we actually got off to a really hot start.
Yeah.
Felt really good about how we were competing. We were competing off the ground. I thought that we did a pretty good job in the first quarter of attacking in transition and then having some pretty good settled sets on the offensive side. I felt like the second quarter we just got a little sloppy. Mm-hmm. And I think when you play against a team like them, where they are really efficient with the ball and they make the most out of every possession that they have, I think all of a sudden a tight game can become not as tight when you make a couple of those careless errors. I felt that, just a little careless on the perimeter on the offensive side and didn't value the ball well enough ultimately to give ourselves the best opportunity to hang around. And I felt that... that second quarter, they ultimately did make the most of their opportunities. They go into halftime, with 9 goals honestly, I think it was like 15 to 18 possessions on the, for them offensively. And they were really efficient. That's what they've been all year. They're the number 1 most efficient offense in the country. And when you go against a team and you're not as efficient or you're not valuing the ball at a high level, all of a sudden they can kind of just, chip away from you. And I felt that happened in the, second quarter specifically. I thought in general, our team fought hard. I thought that we scrapped. I thought that there were some things that we did really well. Offensively in the second half, I did think that we created some pretty good shot opportunities, but ultimately we were just too careless with the ball. And against a team, I think the game ended up being somewhat even in terms of possession because I didn't think we did a good enough job translating the wins at the faceoff X into possessions or stops into possessions. And I think that against a team like that who makes the most out of when they do have the ball,
sure.
You feel that. And I think that that's what we felt. But I think that there were some guys. Luca, I thought had a great game. He ended up playing a little bit on the offensive side as well in transition, which I thought gave us a little bit of a boost in face-off transition. I did think our wing play was solid. I thought Bryce Rickens had a great game off the ground, and I thought that we felt that. In general, you mentioned Luke Fenderson, and I thought that our second midfield line in general had a really solid game. I thought that they played some good sets. For people who don't know,
who's on that second midfield line?
Yeah, it's been Magnus Falkevitz, freshman, Luke Fenderson, freshman, and then Nick Steele, junior.
Yeah. Kind of a young core.
Yeah, and I just have felt them, take steps in a positive direction throughout the year, and I thought they had a really solid game, so there were certainly some positives, but there's definitely some things that as we're watching on film that we've got to address. I think that we need to be a little bit more connected on the defensive side. We got to take our matchups a little bit more personally.
Yeah.
Ultimately, in general, I think got to value the ball a little bit better. So, we got to address those couple things, but it's a short week as well. I said it last week, even with our bye week, it's not like we're going to reinvent the wheel and change the way that we play. We've just got to continue to sharpen some of the basics and some of the fundamentals as we continue to move forward.
Yeah. We've been practicing kind of this weekend all with the kind of the Hobart and Cornell games, with the Ohio State and the Robert Morris games for this upcoming weekend.
Sure. With
the A-10 tournament. It begins Thursday, April 30th, hosted by Richmond. We play St. Joe's as the 2 seed and St. Joe's as the 3 seed at Thursday, April 30th at 7 p.m. We beat St. Joe's early this season. That was our second ranked win of the year. So how does the mindset shift from regular season to kind of tournament lacrosse?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think ultimately there's always that added risk that this could be our last week of practice together. Yeah. That is a reality. Our guys are finishing up finals today, and now we're going into a time period where we're professional lacrosse players for as long as we can be, and so there's always that little bit of in the back of your mind that this could be the end, but it's certainly not how we're treating it, right? And ultimately, you mentioned those different pockets throughout the season where we had those 2 games in 3 days, and the reality of each one of those is it starts with one game. We're not thinking about 2 games in 3 days right now, right? Because the reality is if we don't do the small things and we don't take care of business in the first one, we don't get to have more days together. And so, for us, it's we're focused on one game, and that game is St. Joe's, and they are a bear of a team, and we said this all the way back to our St. Joe's week is, they make it really difficult to play. They play a very full field brand of the game. They're very aggressive in their 10-man ride. They're very aggressive in early offense and transition, and they put you in some spots where, I think for some games, you're playing a lot of in-the-box offense and in-the-box defense. I think St. Joe's makes it a full field game. And so, we're practicing that way, but, ultimately we don't have that many practices, right? We practiced last night under the lights a little bit to start to, get our bodies on the 7 o'clock game, body clock, and to be under the lights a little bit, and I think that was fun for the guys, and it was a competitive practice. That was really our one competitive practice of the week, and now we're just gonna tighten up the bolts, tighten up the details, and make sure that we're fresh and ready to go for Thursday. But they force you to play a brand of the game that's very up and down, and I think that it's been very clear in every other game that they've played that they try to do that, and we just have to make sure that we don't get too lost in trying to play their brand. We got to play and do what we do well, but also take advantage of those opportunities when we see fit. If they're going to 10-man ride us, we want to be able to push transition if we get those opportunities. But I do think that our defensive stick work has been a high priority for us. Our offensive decision making has been a high priority for us, and ultimately we know we're going to get into a fist fight here. That's just the way that they play. That's just what we're expecting. So they've done a great job throughout the year. Their coaching staff and their players, they make it really tough, and so we're just going to be excited to compete and try to do our job no matter the circumstance.
No doubt. Well, if you haven't seen the Panthers yet this season, please come out and support us in Richmond and cheer us on. Yeah. Now, let's talk to the craziest man I know, Crazy 8's Aidan McCullough. Welcome back. We have our special guest here, Aidan McCullough. They call him Crazy 8s. You'll probably understand why here in a few moments. He plays defense. He's a senior. A little personal information. His hometown is Mullica Hill, New Jersey.
Yep. Soon to be McCullough Hill.
Yes, soon to be. You gotta get a degree. He switched positions during his career. He was defense, then short stick midi, then back to defense. Mm-hmm. He's an avid hunter, hence the camo.
Yeah.
That's all I got here for your bio. Well, Aidan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Oh, good. All right, let's talk about your recruiting. Why'd you choose High Point? How did it kind of all come together? And, stuff like that.
Yeah, certainly. So, guess we could go back to my junior year at Clearview, where that was my high school I played. And sophomore year was difficult with COVID, of course. The recruiting was super different for my class in particular. And then come junior year, had a good season. Then started my recruiting that summer and went to a couple camps and also some travel ball with South Jersey Shamrock. Shout out Bill Keene. And we leveraged our connections because Joel Skirbo, he played here at High Point. And of course, Matty, you know him. And he played on the Shamrocks and then got to High Point. So Coach Keene reached out to Torpy, and then Tuma actually saw me at the Baltimore Summer Kickoff.
Oh, nice.
And I think Torpy,
that's Coach
Torpy's
event.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he saw me there, liked me, called me after, wanted me to get down on a visit and everything, and saw the place. And my mom said, "It looks like Disney. You're gonna go here." So. And lacrosse was great, the program, of course, and the campus itself and academics and the food, like everything was just in line. My mom thought this would be a great place for me, as I did myself. Toured it with Coach Tuma, and then, ironically enough, as soon as I opened the hotel room, Coach Torpy had called me on the phone and asked me if I wanted to be a Panther.
Oh,
so that's kind of my whole story and how I got here. He was away recruiting at an event, so he wasn't able to make it, but Coach Tuma took me around and everything,
Oh, nice.
so very appreciative of that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then you get to campus your first day of freshman year.
Yes.
What was kind of that first practice or kind of that first welcome to college moment for you?
Probably like pressure cooker,
Sure.
like 17s.
Did you make it your first time?
Yeah, I made it. And then challenge week 2, that was definitely a good time. Like the deck of cards and all that stuff. Those are.
Well, tell the viewer what those things are.
Oh, right, yeah. So the deck of cards is essentially Coach Torpy has a stack of cards and he flips one over, and depending on the number or color, you either do a set of push-ups or a set of sit-ups. And let's say if the number's 7, then you do 7 push-ups or sit-ups, and so on and so forth until you get down to the whole end of the cards there. And if you fail at any point, then you're kicked out, and you have to go over with Coach Brochart, and he puts you through a workout. And you have to hold yourself accountable there, not only yourself really, but the people who are around you. And we really prided ourselves on the guys holding us accountable around us. So if you see someone not doing a push-up or sit-up correctly, then you kick them out. And then they had to go over with Coach Brochart. 17s, that is essentially you have to make it across the field and back within 17 seconds.
Sideline to sideline.
Right. And then pressure cooker, that's just, you're in a cauldron. Everyone's lined up around the center of the soccer circle, and I think it's 3 people going at a time who verse each other, and it's just a ground ball war. So some great stuff.
Yeah, for those deck of cards, I don't know where Coach Torpy bought his deck of cards, because usually there's only like 52
I think
cards
from Ray
in the
Lewis.
deck. Yeah, and he somehow finds a deck of cards that have 70 cards in it, mostly face cards. I don't know how he did it, but there's nothing lower than 2. There's nothing lower than 3 in there.
Yeah.
Kudos to Coach Torpy.
Right.
Yeah.
So Aiden, you've had an interesting, playing career. Obviously, some injuries.
Yeah.
Tell the viewers just about your experience, going through some of those things and some of the things that you've learned along the way.
Yeah. So I definitely dealt with some injuries, of course, during my time here at High Point, and I also had that happen to me in high school. So I guess it almost set me up for that adversity and that conflict that happened later in my college career, where I tore my labrum my senior year of high school and had to sit out the whole entire season, and then had to not ultimately be sad and upset for myself, but be proactive. And I can't use my physicality on the field and help my team, but I had to use it through my voice with vocalizing on things that we need to work on, that we need to see, and just motivate and help the players that were on the field succeed in any way I can. So then, coming to High Point and dealing with injuries, just took it upon myself there, is doing the same thing, helping out wherever I can with the quality control group, with doing the logistical aspects and making sure things get to the bus and just spearheading that, so it makes it easier for everyone else who's playing on the field that don't have to worry about those things in particular. And of course, always dapping up the guys and handshakes and words of affirmation, all that on the field to make sure they're staying level-headed and just focusing on their game, and just being a support system is really my big thing in helping people when I can't help on the field, but rather use that with my voice.
Yeah. So like, Coach Torpey used to say, I don't know if you remember this, but like he said, like a big HPU guy, hidden play university. That's what this team is built off of. A lot of teams prior, that's like you always have a guy that has a similar role to you, and you kind of just explained it. But what does that role kind of mean to you? Because I bet you would love to play and like make the star play or whatever. Sorry if I'm rambling on here.
No, you're good.
But what does that role kind of mean to you?
Well, really, I think it just means it's something bigger than yourself, really.
Sure.
Like I said, you can't feel sorry for yourself, just have a puss on your face, like just go through rehab, go through the motions type of thing. You got to take it all in, and you just got to look at the bigger picture, and you're here for a reason, and you had to help out in any way you can. You can't just, sit back and let everything go into how it's supposed to go. Yeah, go into motion, everything, but you just got to stay positive and be there for the people, because ultimately this isn't just a sport where it's wrestling, where you're competing against the other person. It's you in particular. It's a team sport where you have to incorporate everyone.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. I'm happy you have that mindset, and we're definitely happy that you got to be a part of this program for 4 years.
Thank you.
Kind of circling back to your freshman year, who was kind of upperclassman that you looked up to, and that you kind of wanted to ended up being like a version of your senior year, or maybe helped you to kind of get to that mindset that you already have right now?
Yeah, I mean, geez, every single guy, that senior class, graduate class, like, to be honest with you, they were all great, man. And I'm going to miss some people, so like Grant Ahman, he was great. Defensive leader, 6th year.
Emphasis on 6.
He's 72 years old. He was a great guy, man. Really taking me in under his wing and helped me out with not only defensive stuff, but socially and stuff, hanging out with him, going over to his house, dinners, so on and so forth. Hunter Vine is great too. He's helped me out, in my senior year too with job stuff. So I've been talking to him, spending time on the phone with him. He's been a great resource of mine. Muddy's great, Colin Hoban, Summy, all those guys. Now like I said, I'm gonna be missing some guys, but you all are in my heart. So
that's good.
Well, the one guy that sticks out to me that I felt like you have fulfilled a lot of the same role is somebody who was actually on the show earlier this year, but Davis Whiting.
Yeah.
Davis was a guy who similar to you had, an injury that ultimately, kind of stopped your ability to be able to play on the playing field, and so what did you learn from Davis in the fact that there's still an impact to be made on our team if you're not able to play out there?
Right. Davis, he's a great guy. I actually just had a phone conversation with him the other day, catching up and everything. But from what I learned from him is he's another guy who took guys under his wing, going out to dinner with them, hanging out with them on the field, being a very vocal leader, as well as a QCG. I picked up a lot from him, where he was, head of the QCG, as was Mason.
Why don't you explain what the QCG is to our
Sure.
viewer?
So the QCG is short for Quality Control Group, and that is a leadership group where 2 people are picked per class to represent their class, and we handle logistics, operational tasks, and delegate tasks also to people on the team. So for instance, I'm in charge of Fit for 90, and Fit for 90 is an app where we put in how much sleep we got, how sore we are, this and that, and I am in charge of that, to making sure everyone fills that out, so then we could dictate practice on how people are feeling. For instance, if a Monday people are super sore from game day and everything, maybe we'll go a little bit lighter, do more of a skill session rather than an up and down transition type of day. I'm also a part of the liaison to the AT, and making sure if she has any information to get that to the team. And then there's other ones where people are in charge of the bathroom and spaces and travel and all that kind of stuff. So that's what QCG is. But to get back to the point of what I learned from Davis is I think the big part was the QCG really and what he had done leading that group and just learning from the task he took on throughout that time last year and implementing that throughout my career.
Nice. The the QC. What the QCG I feel like is something that's just going to set you up like for great stuff after school. So what is it about High Point Lacrosse that think that QCG could be an example? Well, what about High Point Lacrosse is going to set you up for a great future in the workforce or after college?
Yeah, that's a great point and question, I guess. QCG, that's for sure. With Coach Crawley implementing that here was huge, and we had something similar to the Torpy era too. But having both of those definitely set you up for success. Just being for QCG in particular, being organized, handling operational task logistics, time management skills, making sure if you were to have a job and you need to bring something there, whether that's a bunch of stuff or just yourself, handling that in an aspect of maturity and so on and so forth. Also, a great thing that I want to mention is the accountability aspect of what Coach Crawley brought to the program last year and what we've done this year of being in a huge circle in the locker room and holding guys accountable for what they need to work on. And accountability is a huge thing in life and for you to be successful, because if you're in a place where you're working with someone and they're not telling you about the things you should be working on, then you're ultimately going to fail. Yeah. You need someone who needs to push you each and every day. And so with what we had last year and this year as well, being in a huge circle in the locker room and then sitting 2 chairs up in front of each other, having 2 guys go up there, each tell each other what they need to work on for the year, and ended out with a handshake and a hug. And ultimately, you just need to get better there. So that's a big thing. Accountability, QCG, and adversity on the field as well is huge when you're going through a ground ball drill and someone's hacking you and you're not having the best day too. Really pushing yourself there, doing extra work, going out. There's a ton of things under the sun. You get into film and all other aspects, but there are a couple that I think stick out to me for sure.
Nice.
Your nickname is Crazy Eights.
Yeah.
And there's actually a T-shirt that our whole team ended up wearing for our Christmas party this past year. That said, "Let's get crazy." We're working on getting that T-shirt for the pod. I believe it's actually on its way. Why do you think people think you're crazy?
Well, that's a crazy question. I don't know, really. I guess it's my personality, but I'm very calm and I'm very tame. And I guess it comes from my hobbies that I do. I'm a very adventurous person, outdoors person. I love hunting and fishing in particular. And the root of crazy, where that came from, was actually Ryan Marengo last year started calling me Crazy Eights. Or maybe it happened at the end of my sophomore year. But rather, it either happened at the end of my sophomore year or the beginning of my junior year. Started calling me Crazy Eights. It was just him calling me it. And then everyone started to pick up on it, and from Crazy Eights got shortened to Crazy. And I remember last year, it was the funniest thing because we were scrimmaging NGIT, and I was running the ball up the field, and there was a freshman, Carson Robbins, at the time he's a freshman, now he's a sophomore, and I was running down the field in transition and was getting ready to pass the ball to someone for them to either throw it to someone else to score or themselves to score. And I just hear crazy, crazy, crazy. And I was like, well, why is he not calling me my real name on the field? That is like a nickname for I guess on the field, for practice and all, but in a real game, I was laughing as I was running down. And I was like, why is he calling me this? And I just threw in the ball, and it just stuck from there. Everyone just calls me crazy.
Were you honored that they went to an extent to make T-shirts and all wear it surprise?
Yeah. Let's try to grab that T-shirt.
Is it here? So you can kind of see did Ryan make this?
Yes. Well, he made that and then 52 others for his closest friends. But at the Christmas party, there's an ugly sweater rule, but underneath everybody's ugly sweater was this T-shirt. So we took a team photo in my house. And then on the second team photo, everybody took off their ugly sweater and was wearing this shirt. And you mentioned some of your hobbies, right? Because, when there was one night where, you and the rest of the senior class was over at my house and we were watching your YouTube channel, 8 p.m. Outdoors. I don't know if that's still in play. But hunting, fishing, you with the GoPro going through the forest, going through some rivers. Talk a little bit about some of those hobbies and because I think that maybe some of that is to why you've been coined as crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll first start out with the shirt, and that was crazy. I could use the word crazy for really anything as a buzzword or filler. But that happened, like Coach Crawley had said, for our Christmas party and all. And I knew nothing about it, so it was a complete surprise to me. And I remember the whole night going in, having dinner, talking with everyone, doing the Pollyanna, or I call it a Pollyanna.
Oh yeah, I still don't know what that is.
And
White elephant.
White elephant.
Yes.
Same thing.
What do you call it?
Pollyanna.
That's
I guess it might be a Jersey thing. But we were taking a picture, and then they just start taking off their shirts. I didn't have a shirt under mine, so I was like about to take it off, and I was like, wait, I probably shouldn't because I don't have a shirt underneath. And then I just started looking around because they start cheering, and I was like, I rewatched the video of, I think, Coach Littner's girlfriend, and my reaction was definitely one that I didn't think represented how I felt internally. But I was like stunned, not only that one person had it, the whole entire team. And not the whole entire team, the coaches and our AT and the strength conditioning coordinator. Like, everyone had it. And I was like, this is insane. So, I'm very appreciative of Ryan Marango and what he got together. That shows a lot about him. I could talk all day about that guy. He's the best ever, and for everyone else participating in it, and just shows you how much love there is at this program and the culture that we represent, from what Coach Torpy brought in, and then what Coach Crawley has built as well. Both people, man, great mentors, great coaches, and couldn't ask for better people.
Yeah.
And then I guess to go back to that point, finishing with my outdoor activities, that I got taught that by my dad and ultimately just fell in love with it, man. From the first time he took me out fishing to the first time we went hunting, it just grew exponentially from there. And he really just taught me freshwater fishing and whitetail deer hunting and stuff, and got me into bear hunting too, which I'm going to be doing next summer again. And then from freshwater fishing, I got more into the sporty saltwater fishing, like tuna and stripers and bluefish and all that kind of stuff. But I just really cherish that, and it made me who I am today with my personality and just being very adventurous and going the extra mile and stuff. So that's definitely helped me.
I want to talk more about the hunting aspect. Has there ever been a time, like, say when you're hunting this bad boy, the bear, sorry if PETA is watching, but were you ever kind of scared?
Yeah. Well, usually they say, with black bears, you fight back. With brown bears, you act dead. And I'm going to get the whole term wrong. And then with polar bears, you say goodnight, whatever that is, because
polar bears are more dangerous.
Yeah, they're more dangerous because they are carnivores. They're the actually only bear that specifically eat meat. And they actually can smell their prey under 6 feet of ice. It's pretty cool.
Is there any polar bears in North America?
North America? Yeah. Canada.
I didn't know there.
Yeah. And I think elsewhere in North America. But yeah, going back to your point, I definitely got scared with the black bear. I didn't think I was because, like I said, usually they're not very aggressive. They'll blunt charge you. If they do have cubs, and that's when you mainly should be scared. But I saw that bear coming in Tuesday night, and it was really dark out, and I couldn't shoot it because it wasn't going to be a great shot. Didn't want to put pressure on myself and ultimately not get a good shot on the bear, so I figured I'd just wait till the next day because it came in very wary the night prior. So if it came in wary the night prior, I think if it didn't smell me, then it'd come in earlier the next day. So I waited for a shot the next day.
So, like, is it not... Talk about, I mean, I don't know how many hunters we have in the in the watching. But so, like you said, you saw it the night before.
Yeah.
Are you, like, tracking it, or are you, like, near it still?
Right. So I was set up in a ladder stand, which I'm about roughly 10 to 15 feet off the ground. But there's actually videos on YouTube you'll see that black bears actually climb up.
Yeah, they'll climb up.
Yeah, and they try to. They're very curious. They want to check you out, smell you, see what you are, type of thing. But yeah, it's crazy, and I don't know what I would have done if that thing came up to me. But yeah, so
you're armed with a gun, right?
Yeah, I'm armed with a gun.
I think we found out what you were doing.
Yeah, but I was like 10 to 15 feet up, not really scared, and that thing came in about roughly 50 yards from me. That's where the stand for, if you were using a gun, is. If it were to be a bow, then it'd be a little bit closer, around 20, 25 yards. And so it came in the night prior, was super anxious to see it, of course. It was super cool. But then the next day when I was shooting it, or when I was going to shoot it, it had come in, and it was the moment. So only people who hunt will understand this, but the adrenaline starts going. You get buck fever, they call it, and you're just totally zoned into what you're about to harvest. Yeah. And that's the thing that I came up there for and paid to hunt. So it was like now or never. And it came in, and I was making sure I got a perfect shot because I'm mostly a deer hunter. And hunting deer versus hunting bear is a little bit different in regards to where you aim. So I was making sure I got the perfect shot to harvest this animal and make for a quick kill. And so I was put my scope up, making sure I get a good shot. And then this thing just completely did a 180 and turned right at me. And I saw its big head in the scope, and I almost... it was really scary, let's just say that. Have you ever seen the movie with John Candy? It was a John Candy movie, The Great Outdoors. That's a home movie for us. My mom always asked to turn it on when we're together. But essentially in that movie, there's a grizzly bear who comes into the John Candy house and is just this huge, monstrous bear, and he has his family by his side and everything, and he has to try to get this bear out, and he shoots the bear in the butt actually, and it runs off. And it was pretty funny. But yeah, so I could put that movie in perspective to what I went through, and hit the bear just looking right at me, and I have him on my scope, and I got scared, but that thing turned around, and I shot it, and didn't go 20 yards, and rolled over and died. Great experience, and I'll be back in Salmon River Outfitters soon.
Well, if you're a bear watching, better run away. Okay, time for some little quick hitters. We'll stay on the animal side. Who wins in a fight, a gorilla or a grizzly bear?
That's tough.
What's the strongest gorilla? Let's just kind of put it in perspective.
I think like a silverback.
Silverback, okay.
I'm not a geologist, or what is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if it's a geologist.
Sounds something like that.
Is it geologist?
Man, I don't know.
We're testing how stupid people are.
I want to say not gorilla, just because of, I mean, they both are very strong animals, but I want to say gorilla just because the
can they endure more pain?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're too big.
It's like the dexterity, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like
their punch is probably way of a harder of a blow than like a bear.
But also like if the bear were to like get on top of them.
Well, you mentioned about different types of bears. Is a grizzly bear ferocious?
Oh yeah. I mean that thing, especially Kodiak bear and Kodiak Island, they get real big. Kodiak or polar bear, I mean that's difficult. If it was a gorilla versus black bear, no doubt gorilla. But I mean even if a polar bear or a Kodiak bear would get on top of a gorilla, with us humans, of course, we're trying to use our hands and our feet to get it off. I think a gorilla would do phenomenal. I think it would, punch you, give it some elbows, UFC type of combinations. So I think a gorilla's winning. I'm taking a gorilla, and that's up for debate.
You don't have to say the title of the movie, but what if a movie we saw my senior year,
oh,
freshman year.
Yes.
What if that was the bear?
That bear's taking him to town, man. Let's just say that. He's on some good stuff, I guess.
We won't say the title of the movie, but okay. Who wins in a one-on-one? So now we're back to more intelligent prey. You or Coach Crawley in both of your prime playing days?
Oh, come on, man. Coach Crawley. Come on, now. You got to be realistic here. Yeah, Coach Crawley, 100%.
We both have bad backs, so that.
Okay, then, as today, who's winning? Is Is it like a fight or is it just like a
A
one-on-one?
one-on-one.
Okay.
One-on-one.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Jeez, I don't want to fight my coach.
I'd have to play off the ball to get away from it. That's
I didn't know how
Yeah,
primal we're gonna get.
I'm going prime Crawley with long hair.
Best restaurant on campus.
Kazoku, the hibachi, 100%.
You're the first person not to say prime. Is there a reason why?
because he likes a lot of food.
Yeah, I'm a big
He's a
eater.
volume.
Because
He's a volume guy.
they do.
They give you a lot, man. I'll tell you, they do really well there, and especially if you ask for double rice, they really get you.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, this question, there's another question up for debate. It's very opinionated. Prime is a staple. It's very good. I love it as much as everyone else does. And then you got Alo and Kazoku, but hibachi just is on top for the amount of food you get, how well they cook it, and everything.
It's worth more. It's worth your buck.
Yeah.
Even though you're not paying for it.
Right.
Favorite type of shark?
It used to be great white, but now it is a mako shark. They're
Tiny ones?
Why?
fastest shark in the ocean. And just, I think, how they look and everything is super cool. Their teeth and all.
Have you ever encountered a shark before?
Have I what?
Have you ever encountered
a shark?
Yeah, encountered. What is it? Okay.
Right there.
I started encountering them as a kid on TV watching Jaws, and then, and then I saw them in the aquarium.
I started encountering them.
The aquarium, like petting them in the little like pools they got, and seeing them in the tanks, the sand tiger sharks. I started catching. They're called dogfish. It's a type of shark, but not really. It's more of a fish. Started catching them, and then got into your land-based shark fishing, and encountered some sand tiger sharks while we were out fishing. So we use some like big bait, kayak it out there and everything, and just drop it down and see what it picks up and stuff. So
Is Megalodon alive?
I don't think so. I mean, they would be all over at this point. No.
Were you young enough or old enough for that kind of that week of Shark Week?
Oh.
Where
I thought
they
you were
showed-
going to ask if I was
It was
alive
only
during
about that.
Where it was literally they showed
Yeah.
that that Megalodon was still alive or something. I remember like going into I think I was going into 7th grade or something like that.
No, I love Shark Week. That was.
You don't think it's gone? Like you still watch it week by week or like every year? I mean.
Yeah.
He
Me and my mom watch
He
it.
encounters sharks every year.
Yeah. First hand.
Do you ever watch Jaws?
Oh yeah.
Favorite
great
shark movie? Is it? It's hard not to be Jaws.
Jaws. I'd say Jaws just because it's a classic, but there's another movie that me and my buddy watched. We found it. I don't know somehow, and it's a great shark movie because you got these other ones that are like Sharknado, and it just I don't like the CGI that looks fake. It has to be a realistic movie for
Do
me.
you want to actually put sharks in tornadoes? What do you
Yeah.
want them to do?
I don't know how they even came up with that idea, but there was this movie. It was called Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah, and
With,
it was
is it Morgan Freeman?
no, not Morgan Freeman. The guy in Star Wars.
Samuel
The
Jackson.
purple, yeah, the purple lightsaber.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Y'all should check that out. I don't know. Have you?
I have not seen it.
Deep Blue Sea. That was a good
It's
one.
a good one
I'll
because
check it out.
yeah, you should check it out. Because like I said, it's not all CGI like. I think it's pretty realistic, honestly,
Yeah,
from the
it's a
time
good
when
one.
they made it.
It's real sharks talking to each
Yeah.
other.
No.
That's Shark Tale.
Oh, Shark Tale. Yeah.
By the way, Sharknado. Fun little quick bit about that. So I know how it originated. It originated from Georgetown Prep.
Yes, you told me.
It was.
Wait, what's Sharknado? What are we
You
talking
never heard of Sharknado before?
Movie.
No.
You know what?
I've never seen that.
Okay, so it's this really crappy movie where it was a tornado that started from the ocean,
Okay.
and basically sharks got into it,
Okay.
and the tornado ended up going into the city while sharks were just flying out of it. And the
And
movie
it started at Georgetown Prep.
Yes, Nick has it right here. For the people that don't know, this is Sharknado. It got snubbed at the Oscars.
Yeah, right.
Believe
Enough said.
it or not, they made 5 of those movies. And I could be getting some of the logistics wrong, but 2 of my old middle school teachers, who also were the wrestling coaches at Prep, Georgetown Prep in Bethesda, Maryland, Potomac, Maryland, they thought of like what is like the craziest combination? What is the like something that's just terrifying, and
Sure.
they said a shark in a tornado.
They started that.
They started. It was like kind of their kind of, you know how like some schools have like a alternative. It wasn't obviously Georgetown Prep Sharknadoes.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like a wrestling kind of
Gotcha.
some like.
We had the shark.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, similar to how we had the shark T-shirts a couple of years back. So that was kind of their thing.
Okay.
And then Club Blue was a club lacrosse team in that kind of area. They kind of wore like we had Sharknado uniforms, and then like they sold the rights to like the guy. I think the director's from DC or something. Heard about it, saw in the newspaper how they were the Sharknadoes.
Okay.
And he developed it into they bought right and developed it into a movie. Not the best movie.
I was gonna say, is this something that I should watch?
No. I mean, to check it out for experience, sure, but
it never made theaters. It was a made-for-TV movie.
Gotcha.
It was. They knew. I mean, it's just.
What was the other one? Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
yeah.
Yes.
Well,
that
what was that
Taylor,
called?
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Shark
Oh.
Boy and Lava Girl.
Taylor
was
Lautner. George Lopez as Electro.
Yeah,
whatever
George
his
Lopez.
name was. But yeah, Sharknado is not like a horror movie per se. I mean, it's gory just because it's a shark in a tornado.
Gotcha.
But it's more comedy, just more like bizarre.
It makes
stuff
you
like
think
that.
how they made one movie. How did they make 4 others to
Yeah,
get 5? You
It
know?
was like, oh my god, it's back.
It was like a huge meme.
Yeah, practically. Ryan Kerrigan played the president of the United States, the old DN for the Washington Commanders.
Oh
He
yeah.
played the president in those movies.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A little more Sharknado talk than I think we're going to be doing. What's one thing you're going to miss about your time at Highpoint?
One thing.
Or it can be multiple.
I mean everything, man. Just like the guys, the coaches, the environment, the culture, the food, the campus, like everything under the sun. I mean, all the people know who are watching, who are part of this culture and this team, this program, know what I'm talking about. All the tough days, hard days we've been through together, the fun times we've had, hanging out at dinner, hanging out outside of practice and everything, traveling. Like that is my favorite time, traveling, especially like the 2 trips we have. Like for instance, we went to Hobart and Cornell, or when we went to Ohio State and Robert Morris, just spending time with the guys. And sometimes you don't always see everyone outside of practice. Yeah, maybe on the weekends and stuff, but being collectively in the same hotel, talking to guys you don't talk to like all the time, building relations, the camaraderie, all that kind of stuff. Eating dinner with different people, man. It's just it's a great time. There's so many laughs, so many jokes, so many good times and all. And that's my favorite part of the travel, because we're all together and we can't leave. We're locked down.
Yeah.
Well, for a good reason.
Yeah. Actually, I want to talk about one more quick thing.
Yeah.
So we do this thing every year. We talked about on the podcast about our senior banquet.
Okay.
Ooh,
I
know where this is going.
And as a junior, you
Brought
had
the house down.
you killed it.
Thank you.
You killed it with your speech talking about Tommy Meehan, I believe, right?
Yeah, Tommy.
And then
Good guy.
your senior year, thinking, I mean, surely he can't beat what he just did, but somehow you went above and beyond and you topped what you did your junior year.
Oh, thank you.
How long does it take? Do you kind of just like think of that on top of your dome,
Yeah.
or how long did it take you to kind of get an idea of what you're going to talk about?
Thanks for asking. Well, freshman year I didn't get to talk about anyone, because I think it was the sophomores.
Yeah, it's like a couple sophomores, but definitely
Depends on how
juniors.
many seniors there are.
Yeah. Which I didn't talk that year, and then sophomore year I talked about Campbell, and then junior year, like you said, I talked about Tommy. And I love talking about people. I just love it so much. I don't like talking about myself. I like, building other guys up. For instance, like I mentioned that, or alluded to, that Campbell was like a honey badger and Tommy was like a grizzly bear, and so on and so forth.
Both in this t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah, right. And then senior year comes around, it's my time, and I really prioritize talking about the people that helped me. Of course, my parents, my siblings, my girlfriend, the coaches, my teammates and everything, and then of course including little bits of jokes and some funny things, because the world. I ended my speech with the world needs a little bit more laughs in the world. Joke around a little bit more, and yeah. I just think about it. Like, I guess I got a creative mind, and it just comes to me naturally. I remember when we were about to versus Ohio State. I was going to bed and I had the speech for Robert Morris, and I couldn't go to sleep. I just started because I was a little stressed, of course. There's a little pressure that I was having to speak in front of the whole team and everything, which happens. And I think that's where you're best when you're very stressed or there's a lot of pressure, high stakes environment type of thing. And not saying speaking in front of people is high stakes compared to competing on the field or losing your job or whatever it is. But I was going to bed that night and just started thinking about stuff, and that's how I built my speech and just went from there. And that's really how I do it. I just get ideas and it comes to me and I start writing down, start typing, and just do it from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Aiden, we thank you for kind of joining us. It's been a blessing to have you on this podcast and in this program for 4 years. Wish you nothing but the best in the future, and let's go win a championship.
Let's do it. A-10, here we come.
Yeah, baby. Thank you guys.